Hi, I'm Tim Stokes, and I'm talking with Chris Scooter of Interact Global. How are you today, Chris?
I'm very well, thank you, Tim, and yourself?
I'm feeling fantastic today. It's a great start to the week, and it's good to talk to you again. And today we're going to talk about the subject of business and values. So I'm curious, Chris, does everyone have business values for their business, or does some business have it and some don't? What do you find in the marketplace? You deal with businesses all around the world of all different sizes. What do you find?
That's an interesting question, Tim. Yes, we find that a lot of companies, aspire to have values, and the larger organizations seem to be able to communicate their values better on their billboards, better on their websites. But when we go to the medium-sized businesses and smaller businesses, a lot of that remains on a PowerPoint presentation and or in the business owner's mind. And there's where the big gap is. That people want to communicate their values, but they don't always know how to do that. But where do you think a business should start with their values and identifying their values?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because I find that I'm not dealing in the large corporations, and probably businesses under 5 million is about where I kind of frequently deal with, and they rarely have anything to do with values. They understand there's kind of a need for it, because I look at it as like it's like a core of all behavior comes from values. They kind of recognize the need for it, but trying to articulate that becomes a bit of a challenge for them, sometimes a very big challenge. They don't know where to start. They don't know how to get started, which is kind of where I help in with that. And I think it's good to often just make a list of values. Go and find a list of values online and start understanding what values look like and how many different words there are, because they could be 100, 150 words that could describe values. So be familiar with what they can look like. And a lot of businesses seem to copy a lot of other businesses, quality, service, and things like that. They put in a lot of things that you see really commonly across a lot of different websites, and sometimes websites are a good place to go. So I think it's important to try to really self-reflect about what is important to you in running a business, and really think about yourself as a person, because ultimately I see business as an extension of personality. It's like an expression of personality. And you're
Yeah,
expressing your business, you're expressing your personality through your business, so that other people are on the same wavelength and get what you're about and what your vision is and what you really want to achieve. And sometimes it can be do a vision and mission statement exercise first, and then think, well, who do we need to be to achieve that? What do we need to be as a business in the marketplace? And then answer that from a values kind of perspective.
absolutely. And the thing there, and the hint that I want to put out there, advice in helping people to do this, is first of all, identify what are your core values. And then identify what's your aspirational values. And then identify what's the permission to play values. And then what's the accidental values. And then also what is the functional values that you want. Unpack that, because when you have a whole list of values that you want to broadcast, differentiate between those. And just as a guideline, functional values would be the specifics of a job, where accidental values is what reflects the common interest of person in the organization and the common interest of the owner. And then permission to play is never really helps to distinguish your company from any other competitor. And your aspirational values is usually the carefully managed value sets that you want to look into the future and that you want to aspire to, why your business wants to exist and why you want to do the business. On the other hand, that's also why the kind of people you want to recruit that will live to your values and why they would come to your business. And then your core values are usually the deeply ingrained principles that guide all of the business actions and the actions of the business. So it's quite important to know what are your core values versus what are your inspirational values.
Very good. I think values make such a big difference, because when you get clear of what your values are, when you're interviewing people to potentially hire, you're kind of looking at them from that kind of deeper insight of saying, are they a good match for our business values? Because otherwise you end up employing all these people and you really don't like your business because of the culture that has been created from all these different people, because culture is ultimately a sum of all the people interacting in a business, isn't it? So you're trying to get clear of who you are, so that when you know who you are, then you're looking for people of like-minded thinking. So if integrity is really important to you and you hire a person that integrity is not really important to them, you're going to see it and it's going to irritate you. So
absolutely, and that is typically part of your core value. And those are the kind of things that you want to know, why you are in the business and what must be maintained at all costs.
Yeah, it's a big topic. I encourage you to spend quite a bit of time on this. If you're listening to this and you're thinking about getting started, it's not going to be a quick fix here. I'll knock this over in the next hour. It's going to be something you're going to reflect on for quite a while. And I encourage you to do that. If you want to make it easier, have a chat to myself or have a chat to Chris. Chris has got a psychometric assessment tool that helps with that, to understand you and your values. And that's a simple way to start. So Chris, as always, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Tim. It was great talking to you as well.
All right. Have a great week, mate. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.